Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Nilanda, and earlier this year, I posted a video about my New Year's reset, as a lot of us do. I'd made a vision board, I worked on my bullet journal, I made a whole new Notion template to help me, outline how I would achieve some of the goals that I had for myself this year. And now it's mid-April and the first quarter of the year is long gone. Have I been able to maintain some of the systems I've set in place? How am I doing on achieving said goals? Let's find out and reflect together. My vision board is still on the wall to my right here, where it's been since I made my video a few months earlier, and I still love having it to look at. I think that every time I kind of glance over this way, it still is a reminder of how I want to feel this year. And sometimes I think that, when life gets the best of me and I haven't been feeling that great, which I will be honest, the last month or so, I was not feeling that great, but it's just nice to look over again and just see a visual representation of kind of like, what do I want for myself this year? Still, even in terms of my bullet journal, I will be honest, even though I find it fun and cute, etc. This year, I have really kind of stepped away from doing anything on hard copy paper. I've been really working in my Notion template, and honestly, I had a feeling that would be the case. If anything, I've been using my bullet journal kind of more as just like a regular notebook, TBH. I think that there's just like a lot of moving pieces in, my life, my schedule, etc. Working as a freelancer and kind of just changing plans on the go or changing priorities on the go too. That it's just been easier for me to be on Notion, and also it's just like accessible from my phone, from my laptop, from my PC, etc. My Notion template really has it's been a learning process. Again, I organized something that I think would work for me, and I think it is working for me. However, just throughout this year, that's what I'm learning. And that's what I've learned with my bullet journal too, where some spreads worked, some things didn't really care for. And that's how I feel with my Notion template as well. We are only about a quarter of the year in. So I've only been using it for like 3 months or so. And generally speaking, I still really like it. I do think that, as the year goes on, we'll see what really sticks and what, I don't need or what can be tweaked, etc. So let's pull that up, see how the system's going, check in with my goals for the year, as well as how I've done in quarter one and what I plan to do on quarter two. I'll be honest, I will need my glasses for this. I think you can see some reflections in it, just so you know. If you see yourself the camera or, the reflection of my Notion template in my glasses, sorry, but like your girl gotta see. So personal, creative, finance, and health were my 4 categories of goals. And then on each page, I have different goals on them. So for personal, one of them is to advance in my language learning for Korean and Japanese. I want to finish both of the courses on Duolingo, which I will be honest, I probably need to start hustling a lot more on that. And then I wanted to learn more music related things like practice vocals and guitar and piano. Just be nice to be able to do all of the above better than I can right now, which is shouldn't be that hard because I'm not good at any of those right now. And then I wrote spending extended time overseas, maybe Japan or Korea. And I mean extended as in longer than my vacation this year. So then in this little toggle, I had my questions. Why is the goal important to me? What does achieving this goal look like? And how will I achieve it? So I filled those out at the beginning of the year. And using that information is how I outlined my quarter one goals. The way I saw it is if I had these big goals for the year, I needed to break it down into each quarter. Like if my big goal is to be better at Korean, what can I do in these next 3 months to get on that track, right? So for me, I wrote do 30 minutes a day on Duolingo, watch 3 episodes of kids TV, review Korean basics and vocab, and then I wrote review Japanese hiragana and katakana and start learning kanji. I will be honest, I think that was a lot of like steps for these 3 months, TBH. So we're gonna have to reel that back a little bit. But I did the same thing across the board. Like for example, for my creative goals, it was make streaming a priority. And I think that if you are not aware, I've been streaming pretty consistently about 2 to 3 times a week since the beginning of the year at twitch.tv/Nilanda_XO. And I'm actually in the middle of a big streaming challenge for myself. So basically, I wanted to plan and schedule streams, which I've done a lot better with, open a Discord server, which I finally have. Although I'll be honest, haven't really been super active in it because I'm not a big Discord user in general, but I know it's like such a staple in the streaming and like gaming community. So I feel like I need to have one, but I just haven't really adopted being active in it yet. So maybe I got to put that on my list of things to do this quarter. Revamp my panels, put new info, commands, and incentives. I've done a few of those things. Promote on other socials, upload vlogs, short form content, and cut downs. And I also want to post on YouTube twice a month. Committing to just 2 videos a month has been a really big weight off my shoulder. Like I don't have to feel pressured to post something every week and just finding the time to film something, edit something, post something in addition to streaming, in addition to like regular work as well. Posting 2 videos a month is something that I have a better grasp on like being dedicated to. So I think that was like a good choice on my end. But yeah, so I wrote plan and pre-production for each video, promote on other socials, which I'll be honest, I think my cross promotion on other socials really needs a little bit of work. And I feel like maybe that's something that I should be working on this quarter, just in the sense of, yeah, if I want to make content creation and streaming, YouTube, etc., a priority, or to grow on those channels, I do need to cross promote, and I feel like that's something I really need to be more comfortable with and more active on. The other thing I wanted to do was sew more. I wrote complete my bag of quick fixes, which I actually did. I made some videos about it. Then I wrote go back to learning some basics, which I do need to do as well. Because sometimes I just forget how to do things. I teach myself how to do something when I need to do it, and then in one ear, out the other. I completely forgot until I need to like reteach myself again. But yeah, and then for my financial ones, it was started paying off my credit card debt. Granted, I don't know if I'll be able to pay all of it off this year, but I have some ideas about that. I want to save for my BTS/Korea Japan trip stuff. And then I want to have at least $3,000 in my Roth IRA. I started doing some automatic transfers. I put $1,000 into my savings account for my trip and like BTS related things for the summer. So I think that's going well. And then I have $250 a month going into my Roth. So by the end of the year, I should have at least $3,000. And granted, I would like to up that as well. So perhaps after I'm done with my trip, I can take some of that money. And if I was able to save $1,000 a month towards this trip, perhaps I can do an extra $500 to my Roth a month and push that up to the maximum, which is $7,000. Or I can maybe take another 500 and put that towards my credit card debt every month too. Here's to hoping. Things like that. Those are things I'm thinking about for later this year. But yeah, and then for my health goals, a lot of it is, the usual, like go to the gym, eat healthy, etc. But I tried to be a little more specific. So I wrote go to the gym 3 times a week, which granted, I need to work on a lot. Take yoga and dance classes. I need to work on that. And touch my toes and do a dancer pose. That one is an actual stretch. Like I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that, but the idea is I need to stretch more. But in this quarter 1 page, what I did every month is that like I wrote the month and then I wrote a reflection. So within quarter 1, I made a reflection each month on those goals to say, hey, did I do anything to achieve those? And if I did, great. If I didn't, what was the reasoning or how do I feel about it, et cetera? What can I do differently? Just things like that. Again, just a little reflection. I think it's pretty clear that certain goals or certain categories took more priority than others at certain times. But I like that I can have a good overview throughout the entire quarter and throughout every single month. Like you can see that March, I was really not feeling that well. You can see my reflection is that I did very little for both music and language. I posted my videos and some short form content. I got a bit of traction from my flips and hobby content. I neglected streaming on days I didn't feel well. I did get sick at the end of the month. Money is stressing me out. I need to work on all aspects of my health. You can see that March really wasn't a good month for me. What I like about having this entire quarter 1 overview is that I'm not distracted by like recency bias of like, oh, maybe the last couple weeks in March weren't that great for me. I didn't really do very much, or I was feeling really down, or upset, or also like sick and just kind of like anxious, etc. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't able to work on or achieve any of the things I set out to do. Granted, I didn't achieve everything, but it would be remiss to say that I didn't try or didn't work towards achieving anything. So now we can kind of extrapolate from the big goals I had for the year, how I wanted to work on them in quarter 1, and now how I want to work on them in quarter 2, taking what we've learned in quarter 1. So I still have those same big goals in general, but I've also tweaked them a bit. For example, for language, I still want to learn Korean and Japanese, but I wrote some more ideas of like what I should do. Same thing with like music. And for me, one of my creative goals, I would like to grow more on Twitch, right? I want to gain some followers, etc. And one of the big things I have for this quarter is my stream every day in April challenge. So I'm in the middle of that. So that means I am streaming every single day this month. I don't know for how long, but I will be on at some point every single day. And that's a personal challenge for me, just because I think sometimes it's about getting over that hump of, oh, I'm kind of tired today. I don't want to, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I have a great time every time I'm streaming. So therefore, I just want to remind myself about that. And also, I think it's a great opportunity to kind of do some fun, interesting things. Like I would like to do some IRL content as well as cooking content. I did a big meal prep with me stream last weekend, and that was really great. And I also baked bread for the first time. So that was really fun. I want to post more short form content. And I also want to catch up on posting my VODs and like my cut downs. Also, I have a lot of like archived content too, and I need to just like start deleting some of that. So I need to start cutting videos so I can get rid of all this like raw footage, to be honest. For my YouTube videos, I want to post videos that are more produced or planned, ones that I've outlined and thought about a little more, like what kind of shots I want to get. Make them a little more cinematic, And I have a few of those type of videos on my channel, but it just takes a lot of time and a lot of, again, thought and energy to put into them. And granted, sometimes I'm totally cool with just keeping things really casual, just grabbing my phone and being on the go, because that's, very natural life. But the artist and the creative in me does want to spend some more time on my videos too. So I think even just having a mix of that will be really nice for me. So the way I want to do that is just make sure that I plan ahead and hopefully get ahead. So I'm not like rushing a video at the last minute, kind of like this one, to be honest, because this one's going up pretty much as soon as it's done being filmed and edited. And I also want to try more editing techniques and also maybe spend some more time like color grading, etc. And then for my financial goals, I was really stressed about income last month, but I will say I have a bit more of stability, I think, going into April. So here's to hoping I maintain that throughout the rest of the year. Yes, I literally wrote new job question mark because like, do I need to get a job? Who knows? As you can see, I wrote that my savings for my trip and Roth IRA are on track just because I made those automatic transfers. So I should be good to achieve the original goals I set out, and I'm really happy about that. Research options for small creator sponsors, etc. Because I feel like if you don't pitch, if you don't look for something, I'll never get it. And one of my goals this year is that I would like to get a sponsorship of some sort. That'd be nice. And then I wrote headshot and agencies question mark. I've always toyed with wanting to get into modeling or just like to have that on the side. And I know photographers and I work with some agencies, so it might be nice to just have something in my back pocket as again another form of potential income. And if nothing ever happens with it, no worries, no harm, no foul. I just wrote kind of a percentage of what I want to save from each paycheck, like where things should go. As a self-employed person, I have to make sure I take money aside for taxes, but I want to put some in savings, but I also have to make sure I have money for like my bills and expenses, etc. And then maybe I can keep 5% for myself, for my selfish wants and needs, who knows? And then don't forget that I'm trying to pay off my credit card debt. Can I get it down to $7,500 by the end of this quarter? I don't know, especially with my trip coming up, I have no idea, but it'd be nice if I could. And then for health, I'm trying to do more meal prep, just because I think that I'll be a lot busier in this quarter as well. So it'll be extremely beneficial for me to do more meal prep because then I won't have to cook as often. And also it'll be easier for me to eat healthy when the food's already there. And then I wrote get moving 3 times a week, which could include a hot girl walk, going to a yoga class, dancing more, etc. Things like that. And again, as the weather gets nicer, it's a lot more enticing to like go outside and go for a walk or go to the park or something. Hopefully the income increases a little bit this month. So maybe I'll be able to sign up for more yoga and dance classes. Honestly, hopefully I'll have the time for it. If not, I might just have to set aside a time to do it like at my own house. And then I wrote stretch daily. So it could be like before breakfast or at the gym or before bed. Because your girl ain't never going to be able to touch her toes unless I start stretching daily. Those are my ideas for what my quarter 2 goals are or in how I would want to achieve them in relation to my big goals for the year. I think these are pretty attainable. I just kind of have to put the work in and find the time to put the work and energy and implement all these little systems into my schedules and stuff, which granted, now that I'm saying that out loud, sounds like a freaking lot, but we will try and do what we can. Back to my homepage. So what I like to do here in my little section here, I kind of have just basic goals for April, right? So I'm going to stream every day in April. Again, I'm in the middle of that. I wrote income Lamau because, your girl's trying to up that income, which I will say this month itself is looking up. It kind of all fell into my lap, but it looks like I will have more income this month than I did last month or the month before that. So here's to open. Going for more walks and finalizing my trip plans. I definitely want to finalize my trip plans, just like to make sure some of the hotels are set or that I have a good itinerary kind of planned out. So then I don't have to worry about that as the trip gets closer and closer. On the bottom of my left side here, I have my quick links to my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel. Although I will say I don't really use them that much, but they're there if I need it. My little mini vision board here. And then on the right, I have my weekly agenda. I've shown this before, but basically, I can click this button and a new week shows up and I have it all in a toggle. So if I want to, I can just pick this up and put it into my archive and then click new week and a new week will appear. But yeah, so the way I have it is that I have just a spot for each day. This week. We are on Saturday the 12th. Yes, and this video is supposed to go up tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. But right now we're currently filming this quarter 1 video. Hopefully we'll be able to edit it as well. And I still have to do my stream today and I'm going to stream an escape room game. But yeah, so I kind of just write all the things I need to do. I have this line in the middle because originally it was like the main important things and kind of the extra things that like if I don't get to, I won't die. You know what I mean? And it still kind of is that way. I feel like for this month, the stream should actually be above the line because that is a priority, But generally, that's how it goes. Or sometimes it's like work related and then more like self related. I have a place to write notes and reminders. Like, for example, if I need to call my doctor's office to rearrange a schedule, etc. And then I have things for it upcoming for the following week as well. And then below here is kind of my calendar area. I have my 2x30 stream all April, which originally was called 2x30 in my brain because I wanted it to be 2 hours a day for 30 days in April. However, I already axed that because I cannot commit to 2 hours, it turns out. Maybe like 1 hour, but I had to shave it to the bare minimum for just go live every day. And in this page, I have ideas. This was a bunch of short form content that I'll be honest didn't post because I was not feeling that great at the end of March. But I had ideas. And then this is how I've planned out all my days. Oh, I did do that already. and we're going to finish Palindrome Syndrome today. But that's how I've kind of planned all the things I'm going to do throughout the month. Granted, it's not always like this. Like you can see, next week is a little empty, but I got to think about those things. So I had my physical, I have a whole bunch of work-related things. You can see that next week I'll be pretty busy with my like other jobs because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days already next week. And I would like to post this video up tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, so then I have, just written some other things like we have an Easter social event, etc. I'm gonna have another video, hopefully gonna go up on the 27th. I say hopefully, but like no, it's supposed to. The content related things are reflected on my content list here. So my April stream, my quarter 1 check-in, my New York vlog that I think will go up in a couple weeks. And then I have some ideas like thrifting in New England, maybe doing a self-care chill day, things like that. And then at the bottom, I still have my my books and media list and my recipes list, although I will say they're pretty bare. I did add some things to my books and media. I rewatched and reread Nana, and yes, I fell in love again, like I was 13 again or whatever. And I was like, damn, the way I want to be Nana O in Tokyo so badly. But I'm currently reading Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. I did watch Secret Apartment in the theater, which I will say it's like a must for arts people or people from Rhode Island. Long story short, it's a documentary on this group of friends who made a secret apartment in our local mall. So got to. I'm in the middle of watching Sakamoto Days and Lazarus, and I started watching Goginjo Monogatari, which is also by Ayazawa, who did Nana and Paradise Kiss. And I have actually never seen Goginjo Monogatari, which is also called Neighborhood Story. So I wrote down a few things. And yes, I'm pretty much only watching anime right now, okay? I haven't watched a ton of stuff in general. I didn't add anything to my recipes stuff. And the way I am in the kitchen is that I don't really, I guess I don't really like copy recipes, but I should start to put the ones that I base things off of in there though. Because sometimes I'll read like 4 or 5 different recipes and kind of just, take the average of all of them and then do what I feel like it. I actually had to do a duplicate of my Asia trip page because I want to be able to share it with Tina. So I have it up here and here we go. So this is my stuff for Korea and one for Japan. My Korea one is a little sparse, but the Japan one I'm working on here. Whenever the trip is fully planned and probably after I come back and I have more like tips and experience, etc., I'll probably do a video specifically on how I planned my Japan trip or just like talking about it, etc., and how I use Notion to do so. But generally speaking, I kind of made a column for every single day that we will be in Japan and then kind of just like spitballed ideas of what areas we want to visit and what things we want to visit. And then I started to like mentally, also with a map on the side, plot it out and then kind of figure out how do we do this. But yeah, so I will probably talk about that in more detail at a later date. One of the things I did at the beginning of the year is I actually made a bingo bucket list and I wrote 25 different things, a 5x5 of things I wanted to do this year. And so I have it written right here. And I think it's time to cross some things out. So I haven't seen 6 films in the cinema, but I did see 1. So I'll do a little dot here to notate that. I did fully translate a BTS song. I did some of it actually on a stream too. I did Take 2, which I have in this little notebook. I did bake bread from scratch. I did so on my Meal Prep Me stream. I did see a BTS member. I saw J-Hope in Chicago. I haven't gone to 6 concerts, but I did go to 2. I went to see J-Hope, obviously, and I also went to see Hwasa. I did post a dance cover. I posted a dance cover to Sweet Dreams by J-Hope featuring Miguel. And I think that's all for the quarter 1, which I would say not too shabby. At this rate, we're going to be hitting a bingo pretty soon. And there we have it. That was my quarter 1 check-in. We mostly used my Notion template that I made earlier this year, which I will have linked for free for you to use as well in the description below. I'm so happy I filmed this check-in because I feel like it's really easy to like lose sight of your goals or kind of like how you've been doing this year, just as time goes on, right? It's hard to like remember. But I think that having all this data in some sense, right? My own reflections, what I wanted to do at the beginning of the year, how that's changed or how I've tweaked some of those goals currently is fun to look at, or to see the evolution. And same thing, even with my like bucket list too. I'll be honest, I didn't think that I did this much stuff already, but apparently I did. So, okay. I guess I just know myself. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and letting me check in with you guys for quarter 1. Let me know how your quarter 1 went and what you're working towards in quarter 2. If you like videos like this, please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you ever want to hang out with me live, I stream about 2 to 3 times a week, although it will be every day this month at twitch.tv/Nilanda_XO. We play puzzle games, we stream IRL, we do some art, sometimes we cook, sometimes we just hang and chat. I take being a variety streamer very seriously. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!